In the following video, a man witnesses something completely unexplainable, and luckily the security camera inside their home caught it too. That morning, his wife had left her phone resting on the arm of the couch before heading to the washroom. She was gone for less than 10 minutes, but shortly after she came out, this happened. Watch. Unfortunately, their camera didn't capture the armrest in frame, so there's no clear evidence of how the phone moved. But according to them, there was nothing around that could have pushed it in such a way, and the way it slid looked intentional rather than accidental. And to make matters worse, this isn't the first time something like this has happened in their home. Almost 2 years earlier, in that same living room, the husband was watching TV while his wife was in their bedroom nearby, sitting on the floor in front of her tall mirror doing her makeup. Suddenly, out of nowhere, he heard a loud thud, her phone dropping onto the floor. Now, at first, he assumed it was her clumsy mistake, because she's known for dropping her phone often, but she wasn't even holding it. His mind quickly went to the next most logical answer. Maybe one of their cats had knocked it down, but the cats were still too young to climb that high. Adding to all this, the couple admits they've heard unsettling noises coming from the basement before. Still, they insist they're skeptics, so they don't want to call it a ghost, even if the activity keeps happening. So, what do you think really happened here? In this next clip, a young woman was out on a date at her local bar when her home security camera, set up mainly to check in on her dog and cat, sent her a notification of movement. Naturally, she assumed it was her pets wandering around, but when she opened the footage, she realized this was no ordinary check-in. Watch closely.
Transfer for general. No.
She later confirmed that no one else was home at the time, yet the footage not only showed movement, it also captured strange voices inside her house. She couldn't make out exactly what they were saying, but the tone was enough to leave her unsettled. Naturally, people began speculating. Some believe it could have been intruders, except there were no signs of forced entry and nothing was stolen. Others suggested maybe the voices came from outside, neighbors perhaps, but the placement of the camera and the clarity of the sound make that explanation less convincing. To this day, she says she still doesn't know what the voices were, but one thing is certain, it's hard to enjoy a night out when your phone buzzes with footage like that waiting for you. The thing about cameras is that they simply capture what happens, whether or not we're ready to believe it. And sometimes, what they capture leaves us with more questions than answers. This next clip, recorded by a local store's CCTV camera, is a perfect example. Watch closely. There's been plenty of debate about what exactly happened here. Some claim it's nothing more than a draft, but skeptics point out how unlikely it is for a gust of wind to move the toy in such a deliberate, almost playful motion. Others argue it was left switched on and maybe a faulty motor caused it to roll. On paper, that sounds reasonable, but here's where things start to get odd. The toy hadn't been touched for hours, and the store was completely empty at the time. Not only that, but many who analyzed the footage pointed out that the wheels move in a way that looked like someone was pushing it, and this isn't the first time strange activity has been reported in the store. A few locals claim items have fallen off shelves without explanation, and workers sometimes hear faint footsteps after closing. That makes this clip much harder to dismiss as a simple mechanical error. So what do you think? Is this just a case of failed wiring and basic physics? Or did the store's security cameras accidentally capture a ghost playing with a toy? This next clip was posted with the sole aim of getting help from people to debunk it, especially because, for as long as he can remember, growing up in the Philippines, he was always sensitive to the paranormal. He and his brother were raised in their grandparents' home, a place where they often heard footsteps in empty hallways, dishes rattling in the kitchen at night, and whispers from rooms no one was in. At the time, they thought it was simply the nature of the house, but deep down, it never left their minds. Now that he lives alone, something he admits was a bold step after everything he experienced growing up, he started noticing subtle signs again. Lights flickering for no reason, shadows darting across his living room wall, and that unmistakable feeling that someone else is there when he knows he's alone. And then, one night while he was watching a movie, this happened. The next day, he took the TV for repair, convinced it was broken, but it wasn't. And now, the same thing has been happening at the exact same time every night, never during the day. What he's dealing with remains a mystery to him, but after trying to move on from a childhood full of unexplained events, he can't help but wonder if his haunting days are starting all over again. Now, this next clip was recorded inside a barbing salon while one of the barbers was attending to a customer and the other two were chatting casually, until something unsettling happened. Pay close attention to the mannequin head and the blue cape in this clip.
Oh shit, oh hell to the no. Hell no. Did you just, oh shit, oh hell no. There's some crazy shit going on up in there. Okay, my God, that shit right there just moved. Just, oh, fuck that. Oh. Hey! Hey! Can we put a security tape back? Because that just moved. Like, that just moved. Like, that just moved. What are you talking about? I'm not going to praise you. That right there just moved. Like, it just, oh, fuck, oh.
If the cape had shifted on its own, it shouldn't have gone in that direction. And the creepiest part? The mannequin head actually turned, and there's no way a simple draft could account for both of those movements. And if you're wondering why one of the guys bolted the way he did, that wasn't overreacting. That was pure instinct. Most people don't wait around to analyze the situation when something unexplainable happens. Fear makes you choose the nearest exit, and that's exactly what he did. But here's the thing. He didn't run just because of this incident. For the past 2 weeks, strange things have been happening in that salon. One time, mirrors fogged up with handprints when no one else was there, so when the mannequin head moved, he didn't stick around to see what would happen next. Still, he seems to be the only one taking it seriously, while the others laugh it off. But if things keep escalating like this, they might not be laughing for long. In this next clip, a man who had been relaxing alone at home after a long day got a surprise visit he never expected, the kind that makes your stomach drop before you even process what's happening. Watch this. Most people confronted with something spooky would instinctively reach for a stick, maybe a broom, the classic tools for shooing away unwanted visitors. But this man, he went for a gun. And it's hard to ignore his grip on the gun. But then again, do you really bring a gun to a ghost fight? At that moment, he didn't care. The sudden crash he heard had him convinced someone had broken in. And sometimes fear takes over logic, and the idea of an intruder hiding in the shadows was enough to push him into full combat mode. Now, this next video was recorded on March 26th around 12:30 a.m. when a couple were asleep and suddenly woke up to the sound of the husband's truck alarm blaring non-stop. Out of pure confusion and a bit of fear, the husband asked his wife to pull up the camera feed to see who was in the truck. What made it even stranger is that he hadn't locked the truck, meaning the alarm wasn't even set to go off. This is what they saw. Take a close look at the front of the truck near the windshield in the first few seconds. When the husband rushed outside, there wasn't a single scratch on the truck. Nothing was left behind on the ground. No sign of forced entry, and no reason why the alarm should have gone off at all. So, what exactly did they miss that night? This next clip was posted by a mother crying out for help, desperate to understand the strange things happening around her baby. She had already noticed little things, toys turning on by themselves even when their batteries had been removed, and the baby often looking and laughing at corners of the room where no one was standing. At first, she brushed it off as coincidence, but one morning she woke up to this recording from her baby's monitor. "Keep your eyes on his diaper." It looks as though something is grabbing onto the diaper while the baby squirms uncomfortably. After seeing this, she immediately decided her baby would never sleep alone again, and now only lets him sleep in her room. She hopes it's over, and honestly, we all do too. The following video was captured by Callie Payne after weeks of experiencing unexplainable events in her apartment. One night, she heard scratching, like fingernails dragging across the walls from inside. Another day, it's the sound of someone pacing on her balcony, even when it's empty. But on this particular morning, shortly after finishing breakfast, she caught this on camera.
Oh my god.
Now, this wasn't the first time her front door had opened and slammed itself shut. In fact, after the first incident, she called an artisan to inspect the hinges, the alignment, even the air vents. Nothing was wrong, and there was no logical reason for the way that door moved. With everything else that's been happening, like footsteps, cold drafts in sealed rooms, flickering hallway lights that seem to respond to movement, there's only one explanation that makes sense. There's a spirit in that apartment. She's planning to sage the entire place, and we can only hope it's enough to send the spirit back to where it came from. This next clip was recorded by an adventurous woman named Amber Nicole, who isn't new to paranormal activities, so she didn't think twice before signing the lease on her new apartment, even after learning what happened there. The previous tenants had lost their mother in that very house, and according to them, her spirit never really left. Every night, at the exact time she passed, strange sounds echoed through the home, soft moaning, then tapping, sometimes a sharp knock. Objects would shift slightly, drawers would click open on their own, but they couldn't take it, so they left. This information didn't bother Amber, so she picked the place anyway, and for the first week, the only thing she had to deal with was the noises. Her best bet was headphones, so she simply wore headphones when they began, but after a few days, other activities started. One afternoon while she was trying to prepare lunch, this happened. Amber believes the spirit of the mother still has strong opinions, especially about how she runs the house. She's convinced that the ghost hates when she leaves the refrigerator door open, and it's not just that. If she places items in the wrong spot, like putting the sugar jar on the wrong counter or misplacing the kitchen towels, before she even turns back around, they're back where the ghost seems to want them. To Amber, this isn't haunting. It's a housemate with very firm rules, and as far as she's concerned, they found a rhythm, and she's content living with the spirit, and honestly, we just hope it stays this way. You ever get that feeling that a house picked you instead of the other way around? That's how Kyle Anthony described it after moving into his new place. It looked normal enough, but something about it just didn't sit right. He'd hear knocking sounds from nowhere and faint voices always at night, but the house was old, so he concluded it was the structure settling, until one day, curiosity got the better of him. He realized he'd never actually checked the attic, so he grabbed a flashlight and found a creepy old doll, a rusted tin bowl filled with plastic eyeballs, and a small trinket box that rattled when he shook it, but wouldn't open. There were other odd objects too, things he couldn't even explain, all just sitting there, untouched. But everything changed one night at exactly 3:45 a.m. when the knocking returned, louder than ever. Then, a man's voice whispered, "It's almost time." Kyle grabbed his camera and stepped out to check. This is what he caught.
Gosh dang it, kitty. Man, I guess we're getting no sleep tonight, y'all. I got woken up a little while ago. As you can see, there was knocking sounds. I heard a voice. What woke me up was, I swear I heard something say, "It's almost time. It's almost time." It was a man's voice. And then I started hearing knocking. So I got up, started going around through the house, turned on the lights on, and you heard some of it. It just keeps happening. It keeps happening. It keeps happening. I swear. What? I guess I'm just gonna be staying up now. Let's see what time it is. 3:45 a.m. All right. I guess we're just gonna be up for the day now.
What really caught people off guard in this footage was the cats. They were calm, completely unfazed, and that confused a lot of people, because cats are known to be highly sensitive to spiritual energy. But here's a possibility. In rare cases, experts say that when a spirit is old, like very old, its energy can become almost residual, like part of the house itself. Some also believe cats are spiritual protectors and are able to detect negative energy, but not always disturbed by it unless it poses a threat. The video was sent to the ghost hunter and is pending review. We can only hope that Kyle receives the help he deserves. This next clip was recorded by a woman named Claire, who recently bought an old barn on the edge of town. It seemed like a dream come true, quiet, private, and perfect for her horses, but every time she went there, it always felt like she wasn't alone. One night, she decided to bring her camera with her, just in case, and this is what she caught. If you listen closely, just before the video ends, there's a whisper, soft and quick, but she swears she was completely alone. And that's not the only strange part. She pointed out that her horse is usually calm and friendly, but this night he was suddenly antsy, stomping, breathing hard, and refusing to go near the far end of the barn. It's often said that animals, especially horses, are incredibly sensitive to spiritual energy, and when they act like that for no visible reason, it means they're sensing something you can't. Claire has now contacted a local investigator, and they're digging into the history of the barn. Not many people would go ahead and live in a house that's surrounded by haunting rumors, so we have to give Lila some credit, because despite everything she'd heard, she moved into her parents' old apartment, fully aware of the stories. According to locals, a man named Ray took his own life in that house back in 1969, and ever since then, people who live nearby have always said there was something off about that place. Every night since she moved in, a shadowy figure of a man stands at her bedroom door. Doors creak open on their own, despite the house being locked tight, and Lila says she sometimes hears dragging footsteps in the hallway, like someone pacing restlessly, waiting, and she wakes up with the distinct scent of men's vintage cologne lingering in her room, even though no one had visited. One night after coming home from work, this happened.
Ray? Hello?
What makes this clip even more disturbing is that the lamp she captured wasn't even plugged into any power source, and with her dog barking at the exact same hour each night, always in the direction of the hallway where the shadow stands, Lila's convinced Ray's ghost is still in the house. She's already contacted a medium to help her figure out what he wants. We hope she gets answers before the visits become something more. Tom recently took a trip to St. Augustine, a city with a long, haunted history, and while he was there, he decided to sign up for one of those ghost investigation tours. But here's the thing, he ended up being the only person on the tour besides the guide. The guide took him to an old building that had once served as a colonial jail, and in one of the rooms where they stopped to rest, this happened. You can clearly see the flashlight turned on by itself, then slowly rolled off the table like someone invisible gave it a little nudge. That night, Tom barely slept, because no matter where he placed that flashlight, in his bag, in the drawer, even on a windowsill, it always ended up back on the floor. But that wasn't even the worst part. He says the whispers he heard got louder the closer it got to 3 a.m. And there was this constant, rhythmic tapping, like fingernails scratching lightly along the metal bed frame, that didn't stop until sunrise. To make it even creepier, his phone's voice recorder, which he hadn't touched, activated on its own, and when he checked the file, there were no voices, just whispers in a language he couldn't recognize, like chanting. With everything he experienced that night, Tom is convinced there was a ghost, maybe several in that room, and after what happened, he's not sure he'll ever do a solo ghost tour again. The following clips were recorded by Abby's family who, instead of a Merry Christmas, got a terrifying one. They were decorating the attic for storage when they found an old, dusty photo album filled with black and white portraits of people no one in the family recognized, and most of the faces had their eyes scratched out. A few days after Christmas, Abby was alone in the living room when she decided to set up her camera, and this is what she caught. If you listen closely, you'll hear a faint whisper, then the chair starts moving on its own. The family's aware they're not alone in the house, and while skeptics online were quick to say it looked staged, Abby decided to respond directly.
So I got a lot of replies like this one, and I just chose one to reply to. I'm not trying to pick on anybody. I'm not trying to fight with anybody. If someone doesn't think this is real or that there is a ghost or whatever, that is fine. Not everyone believes in ghosts. In fact, I didn't believe in ghosts before this happened to me, or not everyone is going to believe everything that someone posts on the internet, and that's fine. I don't have enough time to argue with people. My husband did not just get out of that chair. He was actually coming from the back of the house where he was putting away laundry and was walking through that hallway. I didn't make that as clear like in the first video when I said he was putting laundry away. I meant to say like he was back there. He was not in that living room with me, sitting in that chair. I know a lot of people, for good reason, are worried about me still being in this house and everything. I'm no longer afraid of the ghost or spirit. We'll call her Gertie. I'm pretty sure I know who she is. I have seen her. I won't talk about that right this second because I don't want this video to be like super, super long. I'm just trying to answer some quick questions. But I originally was afraid of her. I'm not now. I think that she's a good person and that she's just there to maybe like enjoy Christmas. She only shows up around Christmas time when Christmas decorations are out. So I think that she just really likes Christmas and like seeing my kids enjoy the holidays. She had a lot of kids, if it's who I think she was. Who I think she is there were 2 previous owners before we lived here, and one of them was, I think I replied to a comment where someone said that they thought it was a person in their mid to late 40s, a lady in their mid to late 40s, and I said, oh my gosh, that's the same age as the lady that passed when she lived here. I was wrong about that. She was actually 56 when she passed, but close enough. And they had built this house, her and her husband, and she didn't really get a chance to live in it very long before she passed away. She passed away in the late 80s, so I have no idea. I have searched to see how she passed or anything about her, to see a picture or whatever, and I cannot find one. I have a friend who's a better internet sleuth than I am on it, so maybe we'll find out some more information. But yeah, that's who I think she is, and I do not think that she is harmful. If you have any other questions, specific questions, go ahead and ask them in the comments. It's very hard for me to make a bunch of content. I'm a stay-at-home mom to a toddler, and I have 2 older kids in school, so I'm constantly running them around. So when I have time, TikTok is just for fun for me. I will make videos and try to answer all your questions. But thanks so much for having some interest in my ghost stories. I know a lot of people like to hear this kind of thing, which is why I decided to throw it out here on TikTok.
Interestingly, a few viewers backed up her story, claiming they'd heard about the history of the house and its former owners. While it might seem odd to some that her family is staying put and getting used to the paranormal activity, others can't help but ask, what happens when the ghost gets angry? Well, we wish them luck. The following clip is about KC, a guy well known for reporting conspiracies about UFOs, but lately something strange has been happening to him, and now he's starting to wonder if it could be what's called the Hitchhiker effect. For those who don't know, the Hitchhiker effect is a bizarre phenomenon often linked to UFO encounters or research. The idea is that once you interact with something unknown, it follows you home, and suddenly, strange sounds, figures, or even objects begin to appear around you, almost as if you've been marked. For Casey, it started small. He'd notice objects in his home suddenly appearing in odd places, things he swore he never moved. Then came the nights where he'd hear a high-pitched buzzing or frequency, almost like tinnitus but sharper, and it would change direction each time he tried to follow it. At first, he brushed it off as maybe stress or even some kind of tech interference, but as time went on, the disturbances grew harder to ignore. Then, on the 10th of August, Casey captured this. Watch.
Okay, something really, really weird happened a few minutes ago, and it's insane. I don't know if my apartment is haunted or what. Y'all tell me.
This thing is vibrating, and I don't know why. Can you hear it? It was vibrating really loud, so I got up and moved it because I was trying to figure out what was happening. And now it's doing it again, but just not as hard. Hear it? Now what's this? It stopped. It stopped. I touched it, it stopped. It's starting again. Come on. What is going on? Is my house haunted?
Now, could this really be the Hitchhiker effect like he suspects? Or, considering all the other unexplained things happening in his home, is it possible his house itself is haunted and the UFO angle is just a coincidence? Like always, I'll let you decide. This next clip was captured by a man who lives a simple life in Mexico, but now he's scared that his simple life is starting to look far too complicated. Unlike most paranormal stories he has heard of, which tend to happen late at night, his own experiences seem to happen at any hour, both day and night. On the 3rd of February 2024, he was simply trying to take an afternoon nap when this happened.
Estoy tratando de dormir, pero acabo de escuchar un golpe duro por allá en la sala, entonces decidí grabar porque hace días que se viene presentando cosas extrañas en el apartamento. Son las 4:13 de la tarde, entonces me parece muy extraño que hasta ahora estén sucediendo como cosas raras. Entonces, comedor. Miren, ese es mi comedor. Tengo las ventanas cerradas, miren. No. Esto viene sucediendo hace como una semana ya. Pues la verdad se me hace muy extraño. Se me hace muy extraño que esté pasando cosas así. No lo puedo creer. No lo puedo creer, miren. ¿Qué está pasando?
Now, if that's what he's dealing with in broad daylight, imagine what happens when the sun goes down. He claims that at night, he often hears heavy footsteps pacing just outside his bedroom door, sometimes followed by faint whispers, like someone speaking in a language he can't understand. On several occasions, he's woken up to the sound of objects moving in his kitchen, only to find chairs pulled away from the table, or cupboards wide open by morning. Sometimes it's a knock at his door, but when he opens it, no one's there. On one occasion, he swears he heard whispering right by his ear, but he was completely alone in the room. So, what exactly is going on? Some believe he may be dealing with a restless spirit that simply doesn't care what time of day it is. Others think it's not a ghost, but maybe something tied to the land itself. Do you think it's any of this or something else entirely? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one. There are several technologies out there now that people use to see if there's a ghost in their house. And while some of them are said to be credible, many others have been called out as fake, nothing close to authentic. In this next video, you might have to be the judge on whether this particular ghost tech is the real deal. The man in this clip has been hearing strange noises in his home, and you know how simply hearing things can become traumatic. When you're constantly startled by footsteps in an empty hallway, whispers in a silent room, or doors that creak open when no one's near them, it can mess with your mind. Every creak feels like a threat. Every whisper feels personal. And before long, you start dreading the silence because you know it's only a matter of time before it breaks again. According to him, the activity had been escalating. Doors closing when no one was nearby, objects left in one room suddenly appearing in another, and even the faint sound of someone breathing right behind him when he was alone. One weekend, while scrolling through his phone, he came across something unusual, an AI ghost detector. The app claimed it could scan your environment and reveal the image of anything hiding in your house. Skeptical but desperate for answers, he decided to give it a try. Have a look.
Alright, I'm terrified. The fuck is that noise, bro?
So then I decided to try the ghost AI. You'll never believe what happens next.
Now, the part where he talks about dealing with stuff is quite believable, especially considering his past experiences. But the real question is, can this technology be trusted, or is it just another gimmick that preys on people's fears? Until we get more reviews and more evidence from others trying AI ghost detectors, this one remains unsolved. In the following video, a woman named Arya shares a very unsettling experience. Watch this.
Okay.
Now, if you're wondering what she was running from or who was chasing her, wait until you see what the security camera captured after that.
So here's video of that girl that posted, and I'm gonna let y'all know now, it gets really weird. It's like she acting like she's running from something or hiding from something, but there's literally nobody else in the frame. Like she tweaking.
Yeah, it is weird.
And the elevator door is not even closing. Like she playing hide and seek or something. But look, this ain't even the craziest thing. Like now the elevator, look, the elevator door is closed. This ain't even the craziest thing about this video though. I got like more video to show y'all, and it just gets super weird. So y'all just stay tuned.
There are a few deeply disturbing details here. First, the way she was covering her eyes, almost like she didn't want to see something, makes it feel as though she was seeing something nobody else could. Second, notice how the elevator doors refused to close, as if someone was standing right in front of it, but the moment she finally left, the doors suddenly closed on their own, almost confirming that something unseen was actually standing there with her. But the creepiest part comes next. Watch this.
Alright y'all, so I went back and was looking at the video of that girl from the other day, right? Because I'm thinking maybe somebody must be following her because I found that thing in the bathroom. Like, you know, it makes sense that somebody's probably following her. Because not just any person is going to have that tool. I mean, that tool is for getting inside of rooms. So just keep watching the screen right here, man. I saw something that just... Because I'm thinking somebody's following her.
Watch, let me fast forward. Watch this.
Watch. That's just the housekeeper down there.
See?
Right there. Right there.
I don't know what that was.
This is crazy. How do y'all explain that? Somebody explain that to me. And y'all think that's crazy? Watch, keep watching like right by that door right there, by that table. Keep watching right over by there. Whole time I'm thinking somebody following her. So we trying to go over the film and just keep watching. Look. My hand is shaking. Right there.
What is that?
What the heck? Bro, that's a rock from that table right there. Those are stones and those in bowls right there by that table. And that one of them stones just fell on the floor.
And there's no way that should happen because there's no wind in there.
Wind ain't even gonna do that though. This is crazy, yo.
I don't know.
Somebody explain this to me. Please somebody explain to me what the hell that just was.
The shadow in the footage only confirmed what most people feared. Something or someone was definitely chasing her. And the moment this clip surfaced, viewers immediately drew comparisons to one of the most infamous cases of all time, Elisa Lam at the Cecil Hotel. Just like Aria, Elisa was also seen running out of her room and behaving erratically inside an elevator, pressing multiple buttons at once, hiding in the corner as if avoiding someone, even making strange gestures with her hands. And not long after, her body was discovered in the hotel's rooftop water tank, with her clothes and belongings floating beside her. So naturally, people feared history was repeating itself here, and what they later discovered in Aria's room didn't help the situation. Watch this.
It's like all her stuff is just left here. Crazy.
You said what?
Don't get me on camera.
No, this is ridiculous. What the heck is this doing in here?
Yo, hold on, y'all. Why the this in here? Hold this. Yo, y'all. This is crazy.
Oh my God. What?
At least you got some stuff you can take home.
The condition of the room and the strange things they found inside only raised more questions. Things scattered in ways that didn't make sense, objects left in disturbing positions, and details that hinted she might not have been alone. But what makes this even stranger is what happened later that night, in the same hotel. Watch this.
Keep in mind there's no construction going on. Nothing. But there's always some type of banging or clattering going on.
This clip made many believe the hotel itself could be the real problem. Some even claim this is still the Cecil Hotel, only rebranded under a different name, with the same eerie elevator still operating in its halls. And as speculation spread, another clip was released, this time not just video, but audio. Listen closely. The audio is very unsettling, and at some point it sounds like voices, dozens of them, all talking at once. But whatever it is, until a clearer version surfaces, all of this remains one big mystery. This next clip is about an apartment complex in Houston, Texas, where residents have been complaining about strange sightings and happenings, not just inside their homes, but also around the complex itself. For months now, residents have been reporting unusual activity, doors slamming shut without warning, strange shadows moving across their walls at night, and even whispers echoing in hallways when no one is around. One day, a lady and her friend were discussing the strange things they'd seen in their own apartments, comparing notes about the odd knocks, the disembodied voices, and even shadows that dart across the walls when they're alone. They just so happened to be having this conversation near the spot where one of the old guards was stationed. Curious, he decided to speak up. And not only did he confirm what they were saying, he went further, pulling out footage he had captured himself that, in his words, proved the complex is definitely not normal. Watch this.
I've been told there's ghosts over here. I don't believe it. But somehow this door just came open by itself. And I go to look, and look. It's a damn broom standing out there by itself. I think I'm gonna leave that door open. I ain't going nowhere near that.
According to multiple residents, this very spot in the video has always been considered one of the most paranormal corners of the property. Doors have been seen opening on their own time and time again, but in this clip, something else makes it far worse. The broom, standing upright completely on its own, as though some invisible hand carefully placed it there. Now, people have a lot of theories about what that actually means. Some believe a broom standing without support is a sign of residual spiritual energy, almost like the ground itself is charged. Others say it's a symbol in witchcraft, where a broom can act as a marker between realms, left in place to keep spirits in or out of a space. A few even think it could be a darker sign connected to rituals, with the broom acting as an invitation for entities to pass through. And then there's the more skeptical side. People who argue it's nothing more than balance, like the viral broom challenge, where people discovered that brooms could sometimes stand upright due to gravity. But when you pair it with the constant reports of doors opening on their own and other unexplained events inside the complex, the broom feels like it means something more. So whether you see this as proof of the paranormal, a sinister ritual left behind, or just a very strange coincidence, one thing is clear. This apartment complex continues to leave its residents with more questions than answers. The following clip was captured by a man who went fishing, and on his way back after he was done, he heard something that stopped him in his tracks. Watch closely.
Yo, what the
What the? Bro. There's nobody in here. Yo!
When he posted this online, the reaction was mixed. Some people ignored the mysterious voice completely and instead criticized him for walking into a women's restroom with his camera rolling. But if you look carefully, it was actually the men's bathroom. The sign is right there on the left side of the door as he enters. Now, here's why he had his camera out. He had just used that same restroom to freshen up after fishing, and he was certain no one else had entered. But only a few steps away from the building, he heard a voice echoing from inside. Knowing he'd left it empty, curiosity pulled him back, this time with his camera recording. What makes this even creepier is the local legend tied to the spot. People say a young lady was misbehaved with by a group in that very area, and tragically, she didn't survive. Some believe her spirit still lingers, trapped in that moment of terror. So, was that the cry of her spirit replaying the past, or something else entirely? You decide. In this next video, a woman named Angeli who lost her dad always believed he never truly left, that his spirit could still be felt in his house. One holiday, she and her siblings brought their kids over for a family hangout at their dad's place, spending time on the deck where they used to gather with him. One night, something happened that left them speechless. Take a look.
Off, please. All your grandkids are here. You can turn it off.
We're not scared.
Sometimes it takes them a minute to get the energy.
We're not scared. We're not scared.
I don't know. I think that's going crazy. Jerome, do you see all your grandkids make it?
I've never seen it flicker.
Turn on, Jerome. Make it turn.
What? Well, and it never flickers like
Jerome,
that.
can you turn
Look
it
at
off
that
again?
thing.
Show the kids that you're here with them. Turn it all the way off. No lights at all.
Do it.
Just wait. You gotta give them a couple seconds.
Yo, pause that.
Jerome, show your grandkids that you're here and turn it off.
I can't miss this. Can you turn it on?
Dad, turn it back on, Dad.
Oh!
This thing is listening to me, dude. Dad, turn it off. Dad, turn it off.
He will.
No way.
That's nuts, dude.
Give him a minute.
This thing never, like, it's going nuts right now.
It's kind of cold out here.
One of you guys ask him to turn it off.
Can you turn it off? Please turn it off. We're not scared. We just want to see you turn it off.
There it goes.
Can you turn it back on?
Jerome, turn it on.
Can you turn it off?
Okay,
Make
just.
the video.
Jerome, can you make it go crazy? Make the lights go crazy.
Whoa! What? That's good.
Can you blink for twice if you're Jerome? It might be hard to do.
Yeah.
Go on, off, on, off.
Shut up, bro.
That's him. No, it's doing it again.
On, off. Okay, now
Yeah, I
go crazy. Now go crazy. Dad.
It's him. 100%.
There it goes. Okay, now go on, off, on, off. Look at that.
I did it for a second.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw it. Literally.
Tell Grandpa you guys love him right now because he's here.
I love you, Grandpa. This.
He is
It's
here.
almost like he's trying to talk through it.
Yeah.
Jerome, do you think, I know you're out here, but do you think that you
come
could
in
turn
the
the
house?
light off in here? Could you try to turn the light off in here?
No way.
Or make it flicker inside the house?
Make it flicker. No way. Make it flicker.
Or maybe move a candle again.
We don't want fire.
Make it flicker. Off. Wait, turn off. No, this turns off. It's in here now.
At first, Angeli thought it could all be a coincidence, until they began asking for specific things to happen, and the responses followed in ways that were far from random. But that wasn't the only strange thing during their stay. Later that week, when the kids were already asleep, this happened. The mini fridge swung open on its own, and right after, glowing orbs floated across the room. To Angeli, this felt like her dad's presence again, and honestly, this wasn't the first time. Every visit to her dad's house seemed to come with its own subtle signs. The old rocking chair on the porch, which was her dad's favorite seat, would start moving slowly by itself. Other times, family photos hanging on the wall would tilt or fall without reason, and she often smelled the faint scent of her father's favorite cologne, even though no one in the house wore it. For Angeli, it's becoming harder and harder to brush it off as coincidence, but what do you think? Was her dad really trying to reach out? Or was it all just random chance? Now, this next clip was captured by a guy just a few days before he finally made the decision to leave the house. It's one thing to deal with unrest caused by something you can see, At least that way, you know what you're up against, and maybe even how to protect yourself. But it's a whole different ballgame when the source of your fear is completely unseen, unpredictable, and impossible to prepare for. That's exactly what he says he's been living with since the day he moved in. Watch this.
Jackson is like laser ass focused on this right now. He won't, like, you alright? I know. You think something's wrong. I don't know. I hear noises, but I'm not even sure. Are you kidding me right now? There is no way that just happened. There is no way that just happened. There is no way. What's wrong with you? What's wrong? Jackson. Jackson. What's wrong? There's banging and stuff. What the fuck?
He admits that he doesn't really believe in ghosts in the traditional sense. He doesn't picture a spirit in white sheets walking around. But what he does believe is that there are strange, unexplained phenomena that science hasn't quite caught up with yet. And this clip, according to him, was the final straw. The following video is about a guy who had just purchased a new home with his girlfriend. They were still settling in and had only just started painting the living room when this happened. When this was recorded, he was heading downstairs to get ready for work, but the moment he reached the bottom step, he heard a strange creaking noise, followed by what sounded like faint footsteps in the next room. Spooked, he ran back upstairs to grab his gun, thinking maybe someone had broken into the house, but there was no one there. At first, they tried to brush it off as a one-time occurrence, but then, one night, exactly at 2:24 a.m., the basement camera captured this. Hearing voices at this hour is never good news. Some believe this could be a spirit bound to the property, perhaps a former resident unwilling to leave, but this still remains a mystery to the couples. This next clip is about a group of explorers who decided to investigate an abandoned adult foster care building. But little did they know, it would be the last time they ever set foot in a place like this. They began their investigation in the basement, where they chose to use the Estes method, a popular but eerie technique in paranormal research. For those unfamiliar, the Estes method combines sensory deprivation with live spirit box communication. One investigator, known as the receiver, wears noise-canceling headphones connected to the spirit box and is blindfolded, cutting them off from the outside world. The other, called the operator, asks questions aloud to any spirits present. Now watch closely.
She said don't go in the bathroom, right?
No, she said in the bathroom.
I'm kind of weak, I can't really...
Who's in the bathroom? Henry. Loud.
Yeah, that was loud.
What was that?
It's right next to the bathroom.
Elena.
Elena's messing with the pipes?
Yeah.
Play. Play what? You.
How did you know that? Kaya, why is that scary to you though?
Because I'm the one who asked the question. What do you want to play with?
Dude.
Hello.
Dude, I'm scared. Who's here?
Who's here? Who's in here? Me.
Dawson's in the bathroom. That was Dawson in the bathroom. He's insane. Let's check. Okay. If he wasn't in the bathroom, he's in the bathroom. I heard that and it's recording.
What the?
Wait, you weren't in the bathroom?
We heard this on the wall. Swear to God.
Yeah.
And the guy goes, oh, look, were you guys back?
No.
The receiver, unable to hear the questions, simply repeats whatever they hear through the static. And the theory is that spirits can manipulate those frequencies to respond in real time. And because the receiver doesn't know the questions being asked, it minimizes the chance of bias or fakery. But in this case, what they got was more than just a strange coincidence. The next clip was recorded by a woman who lives with her family on Civil War land near the Battle of Huck's Defeat, and according to her, this ground has never really been quiet. Here's some backstory. When the land next to hers was cleared and graded, she went searching for arrowheads and quickly uncovered several artifacts. Among them, she found odd black balls, later identified as coke balls, a byproduct of an old iron forge. And sure enough, when she searched near the old forge area, she uncovered a very old button. The moment she picked it up, she claims she clearly heard a name in her mind, Roan. She felt strongly impressed that this forge had belonged to him, and that he may have once served the people of Brattonsville, where the battle itself took place. She grew so connected that she even painted a picture of him, a muscular, dark-haired man, shorter than average height. But despite all of this, she had never once heard his voice, which is why what happened on the day she recorded this video came as such a shock. Watch this. She had set up a motion-activated sprinkler to deter critters from her garden, but on this day, while working on her deck and building a trellis, the sprinkler kept going off, yet nothing was ever there. Later, when she reviewed the footage, she noticed something far stranger. A voice, and not a faint noise that could be dismissed, but a clear phrase with inflection saying, "I trust you." She was alone and no one else was near her property, yet others who reviewed the clip heard it just the same. So the question is, was this the voice of Roan finally speaking after all this time? Or could it be something else entirely, lingering on this land tied forever to its violent past? The following clip was captured by a man at work who decided to film a bird that had gotten into the shop. But instead of just catching the bird on video, he ended up recording something he never expected. Take a look. If you listen closely, you'll hear a voice saying, "Leave." Some people believe this was actually a helpful spirit trying to assist him, almost like it was warning the bird to fly back out before it got trapped. But others have a very different take. They point out that the voice doesn't sound directed at the bird at all, but at him, as if something in that shop didn't want him there and used the moment to make itself known. So was this a protective spirit lending a hand, or a territorial entity sending a warning? You decide. Now, in this next clip, a popular ghost hunter named Ian went exploring along Timberlake Road, a stretch of darkness shrouded in some of the most unsettling legends in Minnesota. Locals whisper about a grieving woman who lost her entire family and is said to wander the road at night. Others speak of phantom hounds, dark shapes with glowing eyes darting between the trees, and shadowy figures silently watching from the woods. And nearby, in a small cemetery, there are countless claims of ghostly children seen playing among the gravestones. While Ian was there, he heard a strange sound echoing from the trees, but as he tried to trace it, his camera caught something that made his blood run cold. Watch this.
So that was a freaking animal. You'd think I would see it, or something, or hear it even further, but it just went through here, and then it's just gone. Just like that. Oh, God. Hello? Is anyone out here? What the hell was that? It just sounded like a freaking light over here. It was real faint. It was just floating around. Hello? Whoa. I think I just saw it over there now. What in the world is that? Is it like a glow bug or something? I mean, it is possible. There could be lightning bugs out here. I don't know. It looked a little different to me. It was like a different color. It wasn't like the typical color. Hello? Who's out there? There it is again. What the heck is that? I keep seeing like these weird lights out in the woods here. As you can see, there's just nothing. Hello? Are you a spirit? Watching me from the woods? Oh God. What was that? There's definitely something out there. I'm gonna try to take some pictures. Who's here with me? Whoa, what the hell is that? Oh my God. Dude, that was a straight up set of eyes staring back at me. And now there's nothing. Nothing in these photos. What the hell was that?
It's one thing to visit a place with no history and stumble across the unexplained, but when you step into a road already drowning in stories of grief, loss, and hauntings, there's no escaping the fear of what you might run into. And for Ian, what he saw that night is something he won't ever forget. For more haunting videos including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. Kelsey Davis always thought being a mom meant dealing with tantrums, toys scattered across the floor, and the occasional sleepless night, but never in her wildest dreams did she imagine that bedtime would become the most terrifying part of her day. It started when her young son began having full conversations with no one there, pausing like he was listening to someone speak back. She brushed it off at first as just an imaginary friend, but something about the way he responded didn't sit right with her. One night, she decided to record him.
Who are you saying goodnight to?
Him. Good night.
Who?
Him. Good night.
Jagger, there's no one up there.
Him up there.
Show me.
Him up there. Him up there.
Jagger, there's no one up there. He's been talking to that vent and then he was blowing it kisses. And I'm creeped out now. Like, seriously, I'm not joking. I'm so creeped out right now.
Her son stood in his room, looked toward the ceiling, and calmly said goodnight to an empty corner. Kelsey didn't see anything unusual, but the room didn't feel right, so she shared the footage with a group of ghost hunters to see if they could make sense of it. For now, the situation remains unresolved, and while the activity hasn't stopped, she's hoping the team steps in soon to help figure out what is sharing the room with her son. Jake never believed in ghosts, not as a kid, not as a teen, and not even after his uncle passed away, leaving behind his old garage where he spent most of his time fixing things. The space had been untouched for years, his tools still on the bench, his jacket still on the hook, like he'd be back any minute. Then one night, something strange happened. While Jake was scrolling through his phone, he heard the door slowly open on its own, and while he brushed it off at first, the light inside turned on by itself. But the switch was an old manual one, so it made no sense that it would come on by itself. He checked the footage again and again, searching for some explanation, convinced he'd missed something, but the video showed no movement until he turned the volume up and heard uneven footsteps coming from inside the garage. This only convinced him the situation was far from ordinary, and that sometimes the dead don't rest quietly, they just keep doing what they always did, waiting for someone to notice. This next clip comes from a creator named Chai, someone known for her hilarious takes on everyday life, relatable skits, and the kind of content that makes you laugh even on the toughest days. But recently, she posted something that felt completely different, something personal, unsettling, and impossible to explain.
Okay, who is it?
Daddy. Daddy's right there.
Is it your daddy?
No, it's your daddy. Is where?
Daddy's right there.
Okay. Okay, show me.
See?
Oh.
Your daddy's missing you.
My daddy's missing me?
Let's go get him.
Let's go get him. Where'd he go?
In him.
Okay, show me.
Chai's 2-year-old daughter stands quietly in the hallway, calmly repeating the words, "Dad is missing you." What makes this feel truly strange is that Chai's father passed away in 2002. Her daughter had never heard stories about him, never seen a photo, and yet she spoke as if she'd known him all her life. Now, Chai finds herself caught between believing this was just a coincidence or something else entirely, something trying to lure her into that room. She hasn't stepped inside for months, and it's hard to blame her because anyone in her position would be left wondering what might happen if they walked into that room. Few days into the new year, Alex, who worked in an ancient building, got stuck working a late shift alone. When he was about to leave and locking up, something terrifying happened. Have a look.
What was that? Hey, look. Yeah. Did you hear that?
He heard a voice that was like someone calling out for help. Alex knew he was the only one left in the building. He still turned to look, more out of instinct than reason, but the hallway was empty. The next day, unsure of what to make of it, he decided to look into the building's history, just to see if there was anything that might explain what he'd heard. But what he found was far more disturbing than he could have imagined. Years ago, a janitor had been working that same hallway when a maintenance door came loose and fell, trapping him behind it. And though he called out again and again, his voice echoing through the corridors, no one heard him in time. After learning that, Alex was convinced the voice he heard wasn't just in his head, it was the echo of a spirit still waiting to be heard. Since then, he's made sure he's never the last one to leave. Cameras don't lie, they catch what we miss. Moments we're too distracted to notice, and sometimes signs that something paranormal might still be out there. Melissa, a single mom living in Asheville, North Carolina, had been noticing something strange outside her home for months. Like someone walking past at odd hours, always just out of view. Hoping to ease her mind, she installed a small security camera above the front door, just to see if anything was really there. One evening, after returning home from dinner with her daughter Ava, they got a notification that the camera had picked up a strange movement, and what they saw caught them completely off guard.
Oh shit, Jose. Here he is.
A man was walking slowly along the sidewalk in front of their house, but just as he reached a certain spot, he vanished. They rushed outside, hoping to find footprints or some sign of where he'd gone, but there was nothing, not even a single sign that anyone had been there at all. When they shared what happened with their neighbors, they learned they weren't the only ones who'd seen something strange. One neighbor even mentioned that the exact spot where the man disappeared used to be an old bus stop, and that back in 1989, a terrible accident had taken place there. Melissa didn't need convincing anymore. She already knew what this was, and that night, she lit a candle and placed it on the windowsill, and from that moment on, they never saw the man again. This was definitely a paranormal activity, and whatever was lurking around their street just needed help getting home. Derek is the kind of man who appreciates quiet moments like when the kids have gone to bed and the only sounds left are the soft breathing of his wife beside him. But one night, after finishing an episode of American Dad and switching off the television, he heard something. Watch this moment and listen closely. a dragging noise like something heavy had been pulled across the floor came from the dining room. But their dining set was the kind that doesn't move unless someone makes it move. So Derek was trying to understand how something so heavy could have shifted so loudly without a single person out of bed. He didn't check right away because the noise reminded him of something that had happened years ago when every cabinet in the kitchen slammed shut at the same time in the middle of the night. He and his wife rushed into the kitchen expecting a mess, but everything was in place. No broken plates, no open doors, just silence. Within a few days, Derek reached out to a small paranormal team that had investigated homes in the area before, and after visiting the house, they confirmed what he feared most. The activity wasn't random, it was deliberate, and whatever it wasn't just passing through, it was claiming space. I hope things get better after this intervention, but with how active the house has been, Derek's not so sure. For now, all he can do is wait and hope the next sound isn't closer than the last. The following video is about a man named Tyler who had always imagined that moving off-grid would bring peace. The kind of peace that comes from stepping away from city noise, endless traffic, crowded neighbors, and all the clutter and chaos of modern life. For a while, it did. His home sat alone on a hilltop, surrounded by trees, with no neighbors for miles. But one night, at 3:18 a.m., Tyler's phone buzzed with a single ring notification from the camera pointed toward the tree line, and although he didn't check it right away, convincing himself it was probably nothing, the next morning he opened the app, and this is what he saw. A figure moved across the edge of the frame, dressed in white, gliding forward with a strange, rigid stillness, its clothes untouched by the wind, its steps too smooth, too controlled, like it wasn't walking at all, but floating, unaware or maybe uninterested, that a camera was watching, and just as it appeared, it vanished into the trees. Tyler rushed outside, checking every inch of the fence line for footprints or broken branches, or any sign that someone had been there, but there was nothing. No trail, no marks. And ever since that night, he hasn't slept quite the same. I guess living off-grid keeps people out, but it doesn't promise you'll be alone. It just strips away the noise, the distractions, the excuses, and leaves you alone with what's really there. Some fears don't need a reason. They live quietly in the backs of our minds, and for Jordan, basements had always stirred something he couldn't explain, a quiet unease that never really left no matter how often he tried to dismiss it. So when his grandparents invited him to visit their old farmhouse tucked deep in the back roads of Ohio and offered him the basement guest room, he smiled and agreed, even though something in him said no. The first night felt normal, until just after 2 a.m., when a strange vibration rolled through the floor, followed by a sound he couldn't place. He sat up, reached for his phone, and started recording to be sure he wasn't making it up. The sound was like a broken trumpet, and it was too close to ignore. The next morning, he uploaded the clip, hoping for answers, but instead, people pointed out something he hadn't noticed at all. In the background, just behind the basement window, was a pale face that was watching. Jordan never got a clear answer about what he saw that night, but ever since, he keeps the basement light on, just in case. But this might not be the solution, because some fears don't go away, especially once they finally have a face. The following video was captured by a woman named Carrie Ann. A mother who has known since the earliest days that her daughter was different. It started when her daughter was just a few weeks old. Carrie would find her staring into corners, giggling, or waving at things no one else could see. Carrie assumed it was nothing but the usual baby behavior until her daughter started describing people who weren't there, people who had been dead for years. At first, it frightened her, but after a while, she began to accept it and became convinced her daughter wasn't just seeing things, she was seeing spirits. One afternoon, on what seemed like a perfectly normal day, Carrie and her daughter went to visit Carrie's father's grave, and this happened.
Are you talking to the little kids? You say hello. Yeah. So she totally just stopped at this kid's grave and started talking to it. Of course, I didn't record it. Be nice.
When Carrie uploaded the footage, the responses and comments were overwhelming, but the majority agreed on one thing. The little girl is a medium. And here's the thing about mediums, many believe they're born with a thin veil between this world and the next, able to sense what others can't. Some even say they're messengers, while others say they're guardians. Whatever the case may be, we can only hope this little girl gets the guidance and support she needs to develop her gift, because this kind of gift, as strange as it may be, doesn't come to just anyone. You ever walk into a place that's beautiful on the outside, but something just doesn't feel right? Like the air's a little too still, and your gut tells you to stay alert? That's exactly how Jason Miller felt the first time he stayed at his friend's house. From the outside, you'd never guess. It's the kind of property you'd see on a postcard, surrounded by woods, with a koi pond, a fire pit, and a guest cabin. But for some reason, at exactly 9:30 p.m. every night, strange things begin to happen that make you feel something else is there too, something uninvited. Every night at exactly 9:30 p.m., the energy in the house shifts. It starts with cold spots, even in the middle of summer. Then sometimes it's a strange smell, not mildew or anything you can explain, more like rotting flowers or burnt hair. Even the clocks in the house, no matter how many times they were replaced, would stop ticking at 9:33, and phone batteries drain out of nowhere. At first, they joked about it, but after one of their friends left the house one evening, right at 9:30 p.m., no one was laughing anymore. The rest of the group stayed behind, watching the security camera as she walked to her car, and what they saw still gives them chills. A dark, fast-moving figure passed, and a few seconds after they saw it, they saw wet footprints appear on the deck, but no one had come out of the water. After that night, the homeowner began thinking about selling, but Jason needed answers, so he contacted a local ghost hunter to investigate, and the findings were disturbing. Years ago, 4 men had been assassinated in that very house. No memorials, no headlines, just silence, and a history buried under renovation. That discovery changed everything, because now there's no more room for doubt. The nightly occurrences, the shifting energy, the figure on camera, none of it was coincidence. They are all paranormal activities, caused by not just one ghost, but 4. This next clip was recorded by a man named Elias, who had recently left the busy city behind and moved to a remote village tucked deep in the Austrian mountains. His nearest neighbor was a few kilometers away with no streetlights and no traffic, just a thick forest, endless silence, and something else. For the first few months, strange things happened. Lights flickering for no reason, distant knocks at night, and odd animal voices, but he brushed it off as just part of living in the wilderness. The price of peace, as he calls it, until one day he stepped into the bathroom, opened the window, and heard this.
Was zur Hölle? Das kommt vom Void, Alter.
It sounded like thousands of people screaming, like a stadium during a goal, but 10 times louder. And before anyone could argue it was just a local match or a concert, Lucas was clear. There were no soccer fields nearby, no events, no festivals, no reason for such a sound. It terrified him, especially because deep down, he'd always felt like he wasn't supposed to be there, and it didn't stop. It kept happening, night after night, sometimes for over an hour. Eventually, Elias decided he had to see for himself, so he took his camera and went into the woods.
So today I heard the I don't know, voices or the sounds too. Like the other day, it was for like an hour or something, and I'm walking now in the forest, and the weird thing. Oh, what the fuck? Oh, and the weird thing about forest, or about the noise, like when I got in the forest. No, it's okay. When I got in the forest, it stopped, and I think I heard something. Like when before I recorded, there was just a weird sound. And that's because I recorded, or I started the recording. Sorry for my poor English, I'm not the best at speaking English. Ich spreche eigentlich Deutsch, lol. I think I heard something. Like it rained for like half of the day. Just because everything here sucks. What the? Okay, no. I think it's time to go. Nope. It's very nope. I know I'm not like in a horror movie or something. I don't go to this weird noise. When I hear it, I just go. I know it's time to go. Yes. When I don't post on Reddit anymore, you'll know that I died. Oh, what the f-
It sounded like people chanting or spirits crying out through the woods, and it didn't happen once, but 3 times. At this point, he was convinced he had to listen to his gut, so he packed up and left, and honestly, can you blame him? When you're alone in a remote mountain village, hearing what sounds like spirits screaming, or in a cultic group, in a place with very few people, your mind starts to put pieces together, and none of the possibilities are comforting. The following clip was recorded by Matt, a young man whose family had gone on vacation, leaving him home alone for a few days. Now, Matt isn't new to paranormal activity. In fact, he's had a few brushes with strange activities, but nothing frequent, until his birthday week. At first, he didn't mind the silence, but as his birthday drew nearer, the house began to feel different. One afternoon, while he was relaxing in the living room, something strange and terrifying happened.
Bro. Move it again. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. In the name of Jesus, I banish you back to where you've come from. I banish you back to wherever the came from. This is not your house.
Being deeply religious, Matt did what he could, praying and commanding whatever it was to leave. But just when he thought the energy had passed, something else happened.
What was that, Tiberius? What was that, Tiberius?
Fundamental questions that we need to know as voters.
TV's too
Per
loud.
economic
Bro, I
growth.
just heard
What is an opportunity
something
economy? What does that mean?
crazy,
When facts come to facts?
Home
My life
Alone.
was better
Home
when Trump was in
Alone.
office. The economy was higher, inflation was lower.
Bro, I'm telling you.
Things were better overall. And now with Kamala's administration,
Bro, I'm telling you.
it's so fantastic. And she's saying she can fix the problems that her administration has caused, but I just don't know if I can afford to take that risk.
Race baiting and fear mongering was a big part of her tactic. I think he was gaslit during the entire debate, and that was probably why he was so defensive.
Bro, what was that?
And even when he brought up the topic of race, he brought that up because she's pandering.
Yeah. Look, these voters saw something that I think we perhaps didn't. Kamala Harris was like an Oprah Winfrey quote book. I mean, she was just spewing these pro-life. It didn't resonate about the specificity.
Did you hear that? What the? What? What the was that? Nah, bro. Yo, what the was that?
If you listen closely, you'll hear it, a whisper, low and chilling, saying, "Here." Now, most people would have packed their bags and left, but Matt stayed, thinking he could handle it until the next sign came, and this time, it was harder to ignore.
I don't know what the fuck's going on with these dogs, bro. They're scared of some. Yo, I'm telling you, bro. That's the second time I heard those bells, bro. The second time. I'm home all the fuck alone, bro. Nobody is home. Nobody. No one is home. Nobody is home. And those bells. What's wrong, Petey? What's wrong? What do you see? You see something? You see something over here? I'm telling you, those bells, I heard them twice. What the f is going on? Petey! 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 Petey, what's going on? The TV turned on. TV turned on. Petey, let's go. Go, Petey. Go. Go out. Go out. Go out. Go. Go out. Go out. Go out. Go out. Go out. What the f is going on? What the f is going on? What the f is going? It turned off. It turned off. Lucy, Bentley, let's go. Bentley, get out. Let's go. Tiberius, let's go. Get the f out. Get the f out. Get the f out. Let's go. Tiberius. Lucy. Oh my God. Charlie, let's go. Come on. Come on, who's home? Come on, who's home? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Come on, T. Come on. Lucy.
His dogs were clearly panicking, and experts in the paranormal world often say that when a dog is afraid, especially without reason, it's often because they're sensing a presence or something dark. And those bells? They're one of the oldest signals of ghostly presence, either announcing arrival or trying to draw attention. Some even say spirits use bells to manipulate energy. One other thing is the timing. The timing of the balls falling on their own wasn't random, and together, all of these strange activities point to one thing: a demonic presence. Days later, things seemed to quiet down, and Matt thought the worst was over, but that's often when spirits become most deceptive, just quiet enough to make you drop your guard. Until this happened.
Bro, I'm playing COD.
My whole PlayStation turns off. And this door opens up by itself. And it was closed because What the was that? What? And the light's going again. And the light's going again. And right there is the light switches to that light. And guess what else I'm about to tell you? Nobody's home. Oh my God. What? And the dogs want no fucking part of it. And why is that door open? Bro? It's coming in threes. It's coming in threes. If you don't believe me, nobody's home. There is the notes that my mom left me when they go on vacation. Honestly, I'm scared as hell right now. Lucy is scared as right now too, actually. Oh my God, bro. I really don't want to look behind this fucking door. Oh my God, bro. What the bro? Bro. What the is going on here, bro? I gotta get out of here, bro. I gotta get the dogs. I'm out of here. Let's go. Get up now. Get up, Petey. We're going. Bentley, come on. This way. Let's go. I'm done making this fucking video. I don't care about this shit anymore. I gotta get these dogs out of this fucking house. Get out. Bentley, come on. Bro, it's Friday the 13th too. I just realized I got all the dogs out here. And there's my... Oh my God. Did you guys just see that? Bro! Nah. This ain't a game anymore, bro. This shit is up. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Did you guys just see that light going off in my house?
Doors opening on their own, even though they were locked, lights flickering, always at the same time of night, and most disturbing of all, the activity didn't stop even after Matt left the house. That night, he finally contacted the family priest, and honestly, after everything he's been through, we hope the prayers and blessings are strong enough to banish the demon. This footage comes from a woman named Eliza, and what you're about to see is the final proof she needed to believe what she'd been trying to ignore. Eliza and her brother worked the night shift at a small town movie theater, the kind of town where everyone's heard the rumors, but no one really talks about them. The theater was supposed to be just a job, quiet, simple, routine, but from the very first night, she knew something was wrong. One night, while cleaning out one of the auditoriums, she heard something no one ever expects in an empty theater, a baby crying. At first, she tried to rationalize it, maybe a family was leaving late, but the theater had already been closed for hours, so she checked the entire building. Every auditorium, every hallway, and the only other person there was her brother. When she told him, he didn't believe her and insisted she was hearing things due to stress, but she couldn't shake the feeling. And a few weeks later, her brother was next to getting the scare of his life. During his night shift, he was alone in the bathroom, mopping up, when suddenly, a thick black cloud formed right in front of him. This was not smoke, it wasn't steam, it had shape, mass, and a very strange movement. This was their breaking point, and a few weeks later, they both left the job, deciding it wasn't worth the unease they felt every shift. But then, months later, a coworker sent them something, a clip. According to Eliza, this was the same dark figure standing in the projection area, and although people who weren't there might try to explain it away by saying it's a bird, a bat, or a shadow, Eliza knew better because she'd seen that shape before and felt its presence. Also, with every other encounter stacked against it, there's no other explanation I can get behind, other than the obvious one. That place was haunted. The following clip comes from a woman named Amy who's been sharing her real-life experiences online, mainly to find out if her housemate is truly seeing spirits, or if there's another explanation. Her posts have always drawn a lot of curiosity, but this latest one has taken the debate to a whole new level.
That the post that I made yesterday on TikTok asking you guys for help to figure out if my housemate sees spirits or if she's just mentally unwell has gained a lot of traction. None of us are able to agree in the comments whether we think she's mentally unwell or if we think that there are spirits. Most of you guys are saying that it's spirits. So I thought I would answer some of the most commonly asked questions in my comment section because I need to know if I should be worried about my housemate or if I should be worried about my house. Also, this is the wrong time to be doing this because I am home alone. Okay, the guy that I'm seeing is coming in literally 10 minutes, so I have to hurry up while I answer. But the first question was, how old is your house? So I actually did look into this when Karen mentioned Amelia on the stairs. So when I looked up, the house is only 25 years old. It was built in 2010. The only thing I could find about it is the owners who built it only lived in the house for 1 year and then they sold it. That's the only information I have about it. So if Amelia is attached to the steps, then she must have been from that time period. So I did wonder if there was something that happened in that year that made them sell it, or if it was just an investment property. The second question that I wanted to address is, do you have any secondhand items because spirits can attach themselves to energy on furniture items that belong to other people? This is gonna trip a lot of you guys out who said that you could see something in my TV yesterday, but the only thing in this room that is secondhand is my TV. Checking to see if there's faces today. I don't see anything. I'll show you my bed. That's my bed. Excuse my drink on the side of my bedside table. Anyway, none of the furniture in my house besides my TV is secondhand. This one was a big one, but a lot of people ask me, has activity continued since Karen disappeared? Yes, it has, but it's not as intense or as scary as it used to be. So still every single night from 11 o'clock, I could clock it and I could do it tonight. Especially the night that I posted the video, my very first video, my stairs were going crazy. I'll actually insert a video now of what I recorded. Yep, I told you it was bad. It never happens during the day. It only ever happens at night, and it usually happens, I mean, it's happened as early as 9 o'clock, but never any earlier than that. So here's another thing that still happens, but not as frequently since Karen left. The light just above the staircase, on the way down. So this just happened. Anyway. Okay, so you know what, I'm gonna, I'll make a part 2, but I think I'm just gonna chill for a bit. I'll be back. Okay, he's here now, so I'm gonna tell him. When I was waiting for you to arrive, right, like 10 minutes ago. What's that thing called on the wall? The aircon remote, yes. It just ripped off and fell onto the floor. I don't know. It fell off? Yeah, it just fell off. It was on the ground. I got a video of it. I don't know, I was sitting in the chair. I was sitting right here. Okay.
What she reveals and what appears in the final moments of this footage has viewers convinced there's something seriously wrong with the property. Some even suggest it could be tied to the land's history, possibly built over old burial grounds or connected to her housemate. But here's the terrifying part. Her housemate has already moved out, and yet the activity hasn't stopped. So whatever's in that house, it's not tied to one person, and unless she finds a solution soon, it's hard to say what might happen next. Now, in this next clip, a Christian creator is in the middle of recording a short sermon about embracing your worth. when something completely unexpected interrupts him. Watch this.
Them insecurities that are manifesting in your desire to sound intelligent. Those insecurities that are manifesting in a way that are influencing you to appear as if you know more, or that individual, that brother whose insecurities are driving him to buy this, that, and the third, and buy chains and flashing on Instagram and flashing on social media, become a social spectacle for real. God sees you. The crowd don't see you. Look at that. Y'all see that? Y'all ain't see it, but did you hear it? Ain't nothing over there. Ain't nothing over there. That's the type of stuff that happens when you get to talking what God wants you to talk. God sees y'all, man. God sees y'all. He sees you. He hears you. He hears what your heart is saying. And this is coming from an individual who was so far gone just 2-3 months ago. January, February, March, April, May, I was gone. He heard me. I just pray in the name of Jesus Christ that he opens your eyes, that he opens your heart, that he softens your heart, that he opens your ears and gives you the ability to hear him when he calls you. To silence the enemy in the name of Jesus. And allows you to hear him. You are intelligent, brother. You super intelligent. God gave you that though. Those thoughts that you're having that are so antichrist are not from God. And I pray in the name of Jesus that he will silence the enemy and allow you to think for yourself for a second, because you are intelligent and you see the truth.
He believes this is more than coincidence and more like a spiritual warfare, because the devil always tries to distract him with strange occurrences to unsettle him or make him lose focus. And according to him, it's not random. These disturbances never happen during casual moments, only when he's preaching. Sometimes it's a sudden, unexplainable noise behind the camera. Other times, it's objects shifting on their own, or shadows moving where there shouldn't be any, and even unexplained knocks at the door whenever he begins preaching. To him, these interruptions are proof that something doesn't want his message to be heard, yet he says fear is exactly the reaction they want, and the moment you give in, you've already lost the battle. But could this really be spiritual warfare targeting him personally, or is it just a series of strange coincidences happening at the worst possible time? You decide. This next clip is about Sabia, a mother living in the Netherlands who says she hasn't had a single night of uninterrupted sleep since moving into her new home. At first, she tried to ignore it, but now it's becoming impossible, so he has decided to start documenting everything, hoping to gather enough evidence to prove that something else might be living in her house. One night, a strange noise woke her. Unable to fall back asleep, she decided to stay up, watch a movie, and hope she'd sleep. But midway through, she heard another sound, one that didn't come from the TV, so she grabbed her camera and stood up to investigate. This is what she captured. Watch.
Keukenlicht is uitgegaan. Oh, ik voel me ook meteen niet chill. Vorige keer was daar die, ik wil schaduw, iets. Oh, die keuken. Nou, hier hebben we die, dat gekke dingetje. Oh. Wat is dit, joh? dicht. Oh, jeetje. Oh, wat is dit, ja? Dat is mijn schaduw. Oh, dat gordijn, jeetje. Oh. Jezus, dicht. Jezus. Wat is dat, ja? Wat Wat was dat? Sinaasappelsap of citroensap? Jeetje. Oh. Echt.
The first thing viewers noticed was how each disturbance happened separately, never at the same time. Some might suspect a draft, but it wasn't windy or rainy that night, and when Sabia approached the door, she couldn't feel even the slightest breeze. Still, the curtain moved as if something was standing behind it. Nothing in this house has ever made logical sense to Sabia, and now she's hoping someone out there can explain it. So, do you think this is just a coincidence, or did Sabia actually capture something paranormal?
So remember, if you're calling out the spirits, you may not always get the spirit that you want. Sometimes you're going to get somebody that you don't want. Like here. Listen good, he's going to say, "So what?" at the end.
You'll notice a faint glowing orb, only this one isn't white, blue, or transparent like most orb sightings. It's pink, and that's what has viewers debating. Some believe pink orbs are a sign of a gentle, protective spirit, often associated with love, compassion, or even the presence of a deceased family member. Others think the color could be tied to energy frequency, meaning whatever this is might not be entirely human at all. Of course, skeptics argue it could be dust reflecting light or a lens flare from Steve's camera, though the way it moves has them second guessing. But whether you see it as spiritual, spectral, or simply a camera trick, one thing is clear. Pink orbs aren't exactly common, and this one has left plenty of people wondering who or what was in the room with Steve. This too, like other videos, remains unresolved. Now, this next clip is about Kyla, a woman who claims she's been able to see and speak to spirits since she was 3 years old. Of course, whenever she says this, most people are skeptical, and by now she's heard every joke, every dismissive comment, and she's used to it. One weekend, while visiting her parents, she casually brought it up again, mentioning how hard it is for people to believe her. That's when her mom quietly left the room and returned with something unexpected: Kyla's old laptop. She opened it, and what she showed her daughter stunned even Kyla herself.
There's an apple! Look, an apple! Don't come in here, okay? Stay in there. Stay in there in the library. Don't come in here, okay? I won't eat you anymore. I'm just gonna get.
Who are you talking to?
I don't like that.
Who are you talking to?
I don't want to see this now.
Huh?
I don't like that one.
Well, who? You don't like who? What, baby? Like what?
What chilled viewers most was when Kyla suddenly began to cry, and according to her mom, it escalated into a full-blown sobbing that she couldn't even finish her meal. Also, according to Kyla's mom, this wasn't the first time either. It happened frequently, but it stopped when Kyla was around 12 years old. By that time, her parents assumed she'd simply grown out of it. But now they believe she never stopped seeing spirits. She just stopped talking about it. Kyla has no memory of what she saw that day, so till now, it remains a mystery. In this next clip, a couple is watching a horror movie about spirits, possessions, and exorcisms, when something truly unsettling happens.
And of the Son, and the Holy Spirit, by this sign of the Holy Cross of our Lord Jesus Christ, who lives and reigns with the Father and the Holy Spirit. Damien!
It's not even scary.
It is scary.
It's not.
You killed your mother!
You killed your mother! You killed your mother! You killed...
Now, imagine watching a movie about demons, and suddenly, the atmosphere in your own living room starts to change. That's exactly what happened here. But here's where it gets stranger. After posting the clip, some viewers recognized the exact film they were watching, and claimed they'd experienced similar disturbances while watching it. From odd noises in empty rooms to objects shifting on their own, several people swore the movie seemed to carry something with it. This sparked a heated debate. Could certain films actually open a door, attracting unwanted energy into your space? Or was it simply coincidence paired with heightened fear making people more aware of their surroundings? No one knows if the activity in this couple's home stopped after that night because they never posted any follow-ups. So, for now, this strange case remains unresolved. If you look closely, you'll see it shift unnaturally, twice, before finally sliding completely off the table. And here's where it gets even more unsettling. For weeks before this moment, they'd been getting odd notifications from their home security app, alerts about movement in the house, only for the footage to show nothing. Then there was the night he found his smaller black dog standing in the basement, locked in place, staring into an empty corner and growling for minutes around midnight. He and his wife have compiled every unsettling clip and sent them to a ghost hunter, who's currently reviewing the footage. Whether this is something explainable or the start of something much darker, we'll have to wait and see. Now, in this next clip, Sandra and her husband are enjoying a quiet weekend with their dog when they capture something they can't explain. Watch.
Like, why? Yeah, by itself again. Like, this is getting weird.
Is it grinding the edge?
Yes! That is what I'm saying. What the hell?
Turn it off.
I did. Right.
Actually, turn it off. Underneath. Turn it off.
And it's button, like it's a button thing, so like it should not turn on unless someone presses the button. And I'm the one in front of it. So there's no reason. And if it's mom doing it, Brad, it's right when I said mom.
I know. Hit it again. Turn it off.
Mom, is that you doing that? I'm not making this up.
I know you're not making this up. I'm watching it. I'm seeing it right here. I just got chill when that happened.
Now, just for context, strange things have been happening ever since Sandra's mother passed away in a rehab hospital, but she's made peace with everything happening, believing it's her mother trying to communicate. Her husband, on the other hand, isn't so sure, and after seeing this, it's easy to understand why. Her mother passed on February 25th, just 3 hours after Sandra had left her side and told her she could go. Now Sandra thinks her mom may have left this world still worried about her, but her husband isn't convinced. One evening, they were both sitting in the parlor when they saw a shadow moving around the room despite everyone being seated. The fact is, any shadow in that room should have been still since no one was moving, yet this one walked. That moment changed everything for her husband, and now he thinks it's something else entirely, something using Sandra's grief as an open door. But what do you think? Is it a loved one trying to reach out, or something else pretending to be? You decide. The following video is about a content creator named Carla Agnini, a woman known for sharing her journey through midlife adventures, cozy home moments, and the joys of an empty nest. But one quiet morning, while filming a simple video to show how peaceful her house can be, this happens. Watch.
If you are an empty nester, what does your house sound like regularly throughout the day? Because this is the sound of mine. It seriously drives my husband crazy that it is so quiet. And whenever he's home, he's... What in the world is that? Where did that music come from? I'm like way over here by the dishwasher. And this music just starts randomly playing. What in the heck? I don't even know what that is. It's like somebody was playing a joke on me because I said my house is so quiet. What? And what was that song? Now I think my house is haunted. Yeah, okay, we're gonna go with that.
Carla later confirms that the song was coming from her iPad, not Alexa. And the creepy part is, absolutely nothing was open to play music. No tabs, no apps, nothing. Even stranger, she had never heard that song before in her life, and she was alone in the house when it happened. Carla now believes her home might be haunted and that her empty nest just got a lot less empty. And honestly, she might not be wrong. When she posted the video, many viewers pointed out that spirits, especially those tied to the home, try to reach out using frequencies through electronics, manipulating sound, static, and in rare cases, even music. After reading through dozens of concerned comments, Carla decided to contact a local ghost hunter and has already set a date for a full spiritual sweep of her house. This next clip was recorded by Sharon, who has been experiencing very strange things in her home for weeks now, but either the activity happens too fast to capture or she's too scared to even remember to grab her phone. One night, she managed to capture this.
Oh my god, there's nothing there. There's nothing.
Now here's the thing, Sharon lives in a one-story rancher. There's no upstairs or an attic space above that area of the house. So what or who was causing that strange noise? And this is where it gets even more disturbing. Sharon has experienced the same strange activity in every house she's lived in since her daughter was born. No matter where they move, it follows, and it's become so common that they've developed a routine. When it starts, they either leave the room or go outside for a walk until it stops. In the video she posted, Sharon included some unsettling details like how the dog starts growling and pacing seconds before the activity begins, how the temperature in the room suddenly drops even in the middle of summer, and how her and her daughter's mood changes sharply, as if something takes over. One minute they're calm, and the next, they're angry, sad, or overwhelmed for no reason. But the scariest detail she gave is that every time it starts, she and her daughter feel their hair stand on end, like a shiver that doesn't go away. Given the consistency of the experience across multiple homes, many viewers believe the entity isn't haunting a location. It's attached to Sharon, or possibly to her daughter, or even an object they unknowingly bring with them from house to house. But I'll let you be the judge on that. What exactly do you think is going on here? Let me know your thoughts on this one.